Kind of a different video right now. Something that I kind of promised people for a little bit. This kind of goes like kind of a life history. I'm going to start like after high school. After high school, 2 weeks before I graduated, I joined a fire department. During high school, I wasn't athletic or anything like that. Joined a local fire department and went over there, and they said, "Yeah, come on aboard." So I was a paid on call fire department. You get a pager, you get called out, you get paid for that hour or so, whatever timing that you have. You only got paid twice a year for doing this. You would get paid right before Christmas and right before the summer vacation hits. So they'd be pretty big checks, but again, it wasn't a full time gig. Uh, Full time jobs were very difficult to get with fire departments, and paid on call and volunteer departments, very few, but they're still out there. And if you wanted to volunteer, you could actually find certain ones, but you're going to have to live in those areas to do so. Full time departments, you have to start off, you get put on a list, you do all the agility tests, you do all the testing, you're probably going to be put on a list. And if they need you, if somebody retires or anything, and you're the next one on the list, they may call you in and say, "Hey, get to work." The thing is, it's a very difficult thing to do when you're doing police or fire or anything like that. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of things that you have to do, a lot of regulations. The thing is, there's uh, city politics involved, and you have to go around the city politics. And I tell you, sometimes I think the city politics are a lot more difficult to get around than some other of the other politics nowadays. Uh, I want to leave politics out of any conversation. So anyway, the thing is, uh, we're not going to go into that direction. There's plenty of programs out there that you can listen to that go in the different directions. Anyway, um, after the fire department, I studied for automotive technician, pretty much auto mechanic. Only issue that I had on that was um, a lot of the shops were closing down and turning into like milk, butter, and cheese shops. I mean, that you could go there and you could get a loaf of bread, or a pack of cigarettes or such. They weren't they were no longer service shops, service stations like they used to be. A lot of those have closed down, so did the field. It closed up quite a bit. Uh, Actually, being an auto tech and everything does help you in other ways. It helped me in the final career that I had, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a couple minutes. Uh, Being an auto tech, I worked over at like Kmart's, or I mean, they had Kmart's, they had Sears, J.C. Penney, Wards, things like that. And when those closed, that was the end of the industry. They still have auto shops, there's dealerships, and there's some tire companies that still own some shops. So they're still out there, very few, very difficult to get into. Um, so anyway, the thing is, I went into another thing which is related a little bit because the boating industry, they all the boats, the ships work on big diesel engines, gasoline diesel powered engines. And the thing is, I've studied that so I could actually turn a wrench as much as I could actually drive the boat too. So pretty much a lot of things as far as taxi boats, tour taxi, dinner cruisers, and everything. There's engines to work on, and between going out on the water and having it at the dock, there is maintenance issues, and those were done in house. So basically, I was the go-to on that because I had the training for it. Makes you more mechanically inclined for other things that may be, you know, be done on the vessels. that you would work on. A lot of the vessels that I was on, they're tour boats, taxi boats, worked on casino, and worked on dinner cruisers. Dinner cruisers were probably like 300 or 400 passenger, and you'd go out on Lake Michigan or such for about 3 or 4 hours. Uh, the thing is, it was a summertime type job, full time, and then part time in the winter. Wintertime, you go out for special occasions. Some people would find like Valentine's Day, everybody's heart was in the right place, and they're looking for their sweeties, so they take them out on cruises if it's nice weather. Uh, the New Year's Eve parties you had some Christmas parties, but during the winter, people weren't thinking of boating as being the greatest thing in the world. So, but people did do it. So anyway, ship captain for 20 years. It was basically called merchant marine officer. You were boat captain, ship captain, whatever you want to call it. The thing is, there's also Coast Guard Auxiliary, which is part of U.S. Coast Guard, and that you're doing volunteer. Uh, you go and you will inspect different people's boats. You'll give classes in boating, safe boating. Basically, doing this, you actually, especially classes in safe boating, you were able to pass on some knowledge to them and continue to understand the boating field. It was almost testing yourself so that you could continue to do good on the water. And not only that, but then the other people are on the same page with you and everybody's doing the right things on the water. It's not just grab a bag of money and you got it. You're a boat captain. No, you don't buy a boat and call yourself a captain. Uh, I would consider people like that call yourself a skipper. Not don't consider yourself a boat captain. Call yourself the skipper. Uh, Generally, the person in charge of the boat, whoever it is, that they're going to call him captain anyway. So, anyway, did 20 years Coast Guard Auxiliary. Did 20 years with Merchant Marine as a Merchant Marine officer. Uh, no big sums of money on either one. You made a good living doing it, and it was kind of something different, something kind of exciting. So anyway, the thing is, as I was going through all these different things, I actually caught an infection on my foot. Okay, had a small scar and everything, and it goes back to like 2011, 2010, 2011, somewhere around that time. And the things are just falling apart on me. I went to a foot doctor. The foot doctor said, get to the hospital, you got a bad infection. I went to the hospital. They assigned a doctor to me. They assigned a couple doctors, and I had antibiotics pumped in me. I had all this other stuff. Foot doctor debrided my wound. I continue to see him. I saw him all the way through his retirement. A happy retirement. I was one of your A1 patients, I guess, for a while. Quite a while, because every time something would happen on one foot, it would happen. They'd call it a debridement. They may take out a bone, they may take off a toe. But the thing is, it was a partial amputation. I'd still call that an amputation no matter what. They're removing a part of you. That's an amputation, I would say. Fingers, toes, anything like that. Yeah. So anyway, I would have, he called it a debridement most of the time. And if I needed a digit removed, they removed it. So one year it would be the right leg, then the next year it would be the left, then back to the right the following year, and back and forth, back and forth. Okay, until the point in time. Sometimes it was just debridement. I cleaned it up and everything, but I was an ongoing patient from 2010, 2011, somewhere around there until 2024, where basically I had my first amputation done. And the thing is, um, first leg removed, and I got the prosthesis. And basically, it took me 1 year anniversary. I started with the second prosthesis in uh, I was in physical therapy for the second prosthesis. So I got the second prosthesis. It was less than a year. Anyway, um, so far so good. We're doing all right. Now, one of the reasons why we call the website, you see 1 foot shorter, 12. Okay, well, 12 is 12 inches. Okay, so that's 1 foot. 1 foot shorter, it was kind of a something that was said. A physical therapist or such, occupational therapist or physical therapist, whatever it was, they came into the hospital. So they visit with you to see how you're doing to get your, up to the game plan of, getting released from the hospital and getting something going for a game plan for your recovery. So anyway, the thing is, I started talking with her and I said, "Yep, usually you can't tell it. I'm laying in this bed and everything. Usually I'm 6'8", but right now I'm 5'8". And she goes, "Oh, so you lost a foot." It was one of those hysterical moments. You needed a drum roll in the background because it was so darn funny. She brought a couple students in with her for training and everything. And it was like, oh, I said the wrong thing, didn't I? I'm like, you know, I I was cool about it. It wasn't anything. I mean, it wasn't her fault or anything. Um, I don't know if it was my fault. I don't I don't I don't put it as being my fault. It's something that happens. Things like this happen. Now, the one thing that I have to say to a lot of people is keep your options open that you could actually bounce off of something like this and go into another career if you have to. Okay. It's difficult because most of the careers that I actually had, most of the jobs that I had, was not working paperwork. It was working within different fields. There was always something that I had to be on my feet. I had to climb walls when you're coming in with a boat. If you're operating as a deckhand or first mate or such, or even if you're operating as one of the captains on board, if you have more than one, sometimes you're going to take a position where you're going to have to tie off the boat. You're going to have to jump from the boat to the dock and tie off the boat. So these are important positions, and sometimes you have to do them because you may not have the other people on board to actually do those kind of things. So, needless to say, my days of jumping and climbing walls is over. So that's came to an end. Whenever I did do any other work, I did do other types of work. One was actually fixing, repairing pool equipment, fixing or repairing pool equipment. Another one, because it was winter, uh, they needed more people to deliver pizzas at local pizza places. So I just did whatever I could to make the extra money until the season broke and everybody was back out on the water again. So basically, uh, unusual type of careers. I did a lot of things that were more a seasonal type jobs and everything. So anyway, wasn't diabetes, wasn't a car accident. Even though I worked on the water, it wasn't a big ugly shark or alligator that came up to me. It was a simple infection. Where it came from, we don't know. I did have two different things: my age, my height. Okay, I came out with two different things. I came out with a blood clot in my leg, and I also came out with something. Hematologist caught it. It was an anticoagulant, and it's like a very rare thing to have. And I kind of looked at her, and she goes, "You got thick blood." So basically, I'm on blood thinners. And the thing is, my blood clots easier. I don't know if it's because of my height. Could I have compromised circulation because of my height? Anything's possible, I guess. Anything's possible when it comes to medical. You never know. You never know. And there's no real solution. Tested for a lot of things. Tested for diabetes, came out negative. Tested for other things. Tested for my circulation, and everything seemed to be pretty good. It was all right. Um, and this one, I all these tests for so many years, for like 14 years, uh, finally somebody comes out with something, and it's like, good God, I hope it's right. So far so good, and I hope it continues to be all right. I don't need to be losing it anymore. Um, I like to share this with everybody, and I hope that, everybody's journey is an easy one on this. Uh, it'll get easy. It'll get easier for you. I'm I'm all charged. I was like, wow, I'm doing better than I did the day before. I'm walking better. I'm starting to work with a cane. I'm starting to walk better with a walker. I'm starting to, everything's clicking in. So because everything's clicking in the right way, I think I'm on the right track, and I think everything will be all right. And I hope for like the next number of years, maybe I could get out there and do more. Uh, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna be a slave to exercise now because you don't want anything to weaken up on you. So basically, my chore is starting. I'm going to have to start walking more, start doing more things. I'd like to share this with everybody, share the different things with everybody. I got a lot of devices that I have for different purposes. I got electric wheelchairs to go all terrain outside if I want to do some yard work. I could do the all terrain wheelchair to get to through my backyard a little. I got transfer boards to get from one obstacle to another. If I need to get into a vehicle, I got that way. I have walkers, I got canes, I got walking sticks, I got a lot of different things in this house that some of it I use, some of it I don't, and some of it I'm sharing with a lot of you. So the thing is, this way you can make up your own decision on what the best articles are for you. If there are any articles, again, subscribe to my station and everything, my channel and everything. It doesn't cost anybody anything. You can put some ideas out, and we go with those ideas. We'll go with what people are looking at. I got a number of people asking me for different things. This is one that somebody's asked for to figure out what, you know, are they going through the same thing as I am? Sometimes you never know what you're going through, why this happened. Sometimes you figure it out, sometimes you don't. Okay. So, uh, keep it positive, keep it all positive. Everybody's going to do all right on this. It's just a small needle in a haystack. Okay. And once you get through that haystack, with no more needles, then you're going to make it. You'll be all right. So, everybody, just have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.